All right, Knucklehead Nation, we are live. I am your ever-loving host, Adam Youngblood Araby, here with Jason the Gator Granado, getting ready for his upcoming bout at FightersRep 18 against Lobo. I'm gonna try my best not to mess up. Langarica.
Lan
Langarica.
Garcia.
Um. So, man, let's just get right into it. How you feeling? How's training camp going? How's the
I
body
feel
feeling?
good, bro. I feel good. I feel really good. Weight's on point. I think I've been so dialed in for this fight. The weight's just coming off so easily because there's been discipline in there since day one. So the weight's perfect right now. My energy's perfect right now, and I could fight today if I wanted to. But we have to wait 6 more days or 5 more days. I mean,
Hey, you're always one of those guys that has been known, I feel like, anytime, any place, anywhere, and is just always itching and willing to fight. I gotta ask, where does that eagerness to fight? Because we were talking a little bit before, and you really have not been competing in terms of time frame, not that long. We were just saying,
mm-mm.
I believe it hasn't even officially been a year since I've seen you in your first fight to now.
Yeah, man. I just love it. I just love being in there, and every time I go in there, it's an energy that you can't really describe and you can't really feel unless you're in there. And I'm addicted to that feeling. So anytime I can get in there, I'm there, and no matter who or anything, as long as I'm in there, let's go.
I know, definitely. Well, again, as someone who can definitely attest, I've seen you from your first fight to now, man. It's been
Mm,
absolutely incredible to just watch your development and
appreciate
just
it.
the fact that, you're a good dude yourself. I love seeing, good guys like go on and being successful and working hard. And you've been
Yeah,
given some great opportunities. I'm sure have had some pretty cool experiences. Like we see you down at the Roofka gym training with Cheeto, helping
yeah.
UFC fighters in camp. And then on top of it as well, going for that 7-0 this Saturday. What kind of pressure is it like to be an undefeated fighter?
I feel like there's definitely pressure when you're an undefeated fighter. I felt like there was a little bit of pressure when I had that little 100% finish rate going when I was 4-0 with 4 knockouts. But honestly, it don't really get too much to me, man. It's still amateur, so just as many fights as I can get. If I keep that zero though, that's a good thing. So there's a little more pressure with that zero, I feel like, and my opponent knows that too. I feel like there's a lot of pressure on him coming in here because he knows he has that zero. I think he might be
Yeah.
more worried about that zero than winning the belt. But like I said, it's just a record, man.
Now, this is your first title defense, and speaking of pressure, what is that added pressure to the fact that you're the champ and someone's coming into your house to try and take your belt?
It's not so much pressure, man. It's kind of anger. I don't feel like pressured in getting my belt lost. I feel mad that somebody wants to take it from me. So I literally just won this belt. I worked super hard to get that belt, and there's already somebody knocking, wanting to come get it for me. And I said it in that last interview, but I'll say it again. Like, there's no one else to take it out on but him.
And you're constantly always going to get this question, but even I got to ask, can we get a little bit of a prediction? What can we expect from this Saturday?
I think there's another finish coming this Saturday. It's not going to come easy. I feel like he's durable. I'm expecting him to just be in there, be in my face all 5 rounds. I mean, he has MMA background, so that's his cardio is meant for fighting. He has that fight conditioning in, so I'm expecting him to be there, landing hard shots all 5 rounds. But I really feel like a finish is coming.
I'm definitely excited for this fight just by the fact that you're two undefeated fighters and you two honestly are both just willing to get in there and willing to scrap. You know, that's the one
Hmm.
thing I really enjoy about watching your style. You've said before, you're not afraid to get in a firefight and you're not afraid to play that chess match. You know, kind of take me through the process of what it was like to kind of develop your style because I really always enjoy watching your fights and you'll be again in the firefight, but I've seen you be patient and wait it out and get your shots and have really great counters.
Yeah, just I love that. I love putting pressure on people, and I love making them feel uncomfortable. I don't like people to be in a fight and it's like a good back and forth exchange, like even exchange. I just always want the other person thinking and always want the person scared. So I love putting that pressure forward, but sometimes with some guys with some power and guys who have that durability and that ego, or not ego, but they're just always pressing forward. It's kind of hard to do that, and bad things can come from that. So I just try my best to kind of keep a little bit of distance, but keep that pressure on them too. Keep that
Now,
knife to them.
one thing I've always been very impressed by you as well, and adding on to the point about the pressure you put, you have great cardio. To my knowledge, have never seen you gas out in a fight. Can you take me through like where you get this great cardio from? Is it just genetic? Does it come from just training? Did you have to development? Like what, without giving away too much, what's a little bit of secret to that cardio?
Man, I feel like I haven't even got to prove my cardio. Of all my fights for FightersRep haven't been none of the. I haven't been in the third round yet. So, but that cardio, just always pushing every day, running a lot, do a lot of running, do a lot of biking, do a lot of swimming, just basic stuff. But I'm willing to do it every single day, and I'm consistent with it. And a lot of people, they run once, twice a week, run 2 miles, 3 miles, and they think that their cardio is gonna be dialed in, but I'm putting in 5 miles, sometimes 8, 10 miles. I'm just running a lot.
That's awesome. That's great, great, great to hear. We were discussing it a little bit earlier. Not only do we have one Granado on this card, we have two Granados on this
Yes,
card.
sir.
You are fighting with your cousin Jerry Granado. What's it like not only to go out there, defend your belt in front of the big crowd you bring, but getting to compete alongside your blood-related family on the same card?
It feels good, man. But it was a long time coming, honestly. This guy's been in there grinding. He's been in there taking, PKBs, PMT, just back to back, and he's been active. So it's been a long time coming, and it feels super cool to compete with another Granado. That's pretty sick. I remember like in baseball, it would be me, him, and my little brother. So we'd have like three Granados on the field. And it just kind of feels like something similar a little bit. It's pretty dope though, and we're gonna have a lot of Granados out there, a lot more fans out there. So it's just a beginning, bro. You're gonna see us in the future, pretty big, pretty shiny.
Yeah, that's one thing I really got to hand and respect you for. George has brought it up multiple times, and even I'll reiterate this point. You see a lot of fighters who have great potential, but the one thing I think that a lot of fighters miss is self-promotion.
Mhm.
One thing that you do really well is you bring a crowd. You bring the energy, man. That's I could even see it from again, going back to that first fight. I still remember you in the warm-up. You were amped up. And it was not like you were not early on the card. You were one of the later fights. I think it was like,
I was fight number 22, I think.
yeah, I think it was like almost 10 o'clock by the time you got the fight.
Yeah.
Very late at night. And I remember seeing Knucklehead Nation. I remember seeing Jason just being right before his walkout in the warm-up room, just amped up, ready to go, wanting to go out there. You could see the energy, man. I wanted to ask you a little bit, like, more just about that showman side. Have you always been that way? Have you always been kind of just a showman, an extroverted guy, a guy who loves to perform and just go out there? Or was that
Yeah.
something that kind of developed again?
I feel like that's always been around. I feel like you could ask anybody that's super close to me or any of my family members or friends, and they'll tell you I've always just liked being the center of attention, no matter what sport, no matter what I'm doing. I always want to be the spotlight, and to be a spotlight and be violent. That's what I'm there for, and I feel like that kind of looseness backstage or whatever you see, that's just confidence. I worked way too hard to let someone beat me. Ran way too much. I did way too much, just way too much training and way too confident going in there. And I'm always telling my coach I'm too big, too fast, too strong. I'm too much for these guys. So I just feel really confident, and it helps that I have a lot of people there for me too.
That's awesome. And speaking of your coach, Cody Sessions, man, I feel like you two are just like Batman and Robin. Like, you know, he's in my opinion, one of the best coaches like out there. Your whole team is.
Mhm.
You guys are highly active,
Appreciate it.
always competing, always in the gym, always got a lot of great group of guys in there. What's it like having such a mastermind in your corner and, getting to go under not only a little bit of a younger coach, but a guy who's really takes his time and invests his time with his fighters?
Yeah, he's a stud, bro. He's a stud, and he's one of the very few coaches who are still competing. actively. He just competed last night
Yep.
for another promotion, and
Royal Combat.
yeah, yeah, Royal Combat, and you know, he's also, it's rare to find a guy who's still competing, who's still coaching, who puts his fighters before himself. He's
Hmm.
always in there training, no matter what we need, one-on-ones. You know, he's literally the day before he's about to coach like 6 fighters on FightersRep because we have like 6 guys in there. He's gonna be in New York coaching our boy CJ, who's gonna be fighting for a WBC title, and then pushing back here and coaching more. It's just, you know, it's not easy to do, and for him to be doing that much, putting all his fighters before himself, it just shows him. It shows why he's been so successful all these years.
That's awesome. I love to hear it, man. And like I said, I've gotten to interact with Cody a handful of times. He actually ref one of my teammates' PKBs
Oh,
and
really?
actually, actually gave my training partner a really great pop. So,
Oh, yeah.
I always love that dude. I think he's absolutely awesome.
Yeah, he's cool.
I mentioned it a little bit earlier, and I actually wanted to ask you more about it. And we actually talked about it a little bit at the last Fighters Rep, but you gotta take me through getting to train with Cheeto Vera for this last fight he just had, man. For a guy like a young guy like you, I thought that was such an amazing experience and such a good, just a great training partner to have for a
Yeah.
guy like you to learn under and just develop your skills. Kind of talk to me a little bit more about that, about how you got that opportunity, what it was like to train with him, and what are some things that he maybe have taught you that you can take into this fight?
Yeah, I mean, I've been wanting to go there for a while because I just know that there's so many good fighters that come out of there. It's pretty local. And I hit up Coach Perillo. He saw one of my fights, got back to me, and told me like, "Hey, come down. Like you'd be good." And first day we just clicked. Good ass sparring with Cheeto. That dude's a stud, man. That dude Cheeto. You can, when you spar him, you definitely know why. That's one of the best fighters in the world. So yeah, he's a beast. All the guys down there are beasts. Luke Rockhold, but they have amateurs coming up too who fight for other promotions. They have this kid Wyatt, this kid Max, this kid there's a bunch of beasts there. So being down there, I feel like it leveled me up a little bit, even if, you know, because I would get my ass beat a few days out of those days I was there. But you know, I feel like you just definitely level up, and it builds more of that confidence that I was just saying. Like people aren't. I'm gonna be fighting this kid, Jesse, and I know he's a beast, and I know he's undefeated. But at the end of the day, he's not Cheeto Vera, and he's not these guys that are in there that I'm training 5 minute rounds with. So it was dope, man. I love that place. I'm excited. I try to make it up there about like once, sometimes twice a week. It's just like an hour and a half drive, but definitely blessed to be there for sure.
Awesome. Now let's get a little bit more into the camp for this fight. What are some things you may have changed in comparison to previous fight camps that you feel like are really going to help you in this upcoming fight? And just some of the key success, just take me through what's a fight camp for Jason the Gator Granado exactly like?
Mm, fight camps. I don't really like to try to say fight camp because I think if you're an amateur, your whole life should be pretty much fight camp. You should always be eating clean. You should always just be ready to get that call. But with these fighters rep promotions and promotions where you get like to weigh in different days, obviously people are going to be cutting weight, and so that's really where the camp is for me, is just making sure that dieting is on point because I like to eat, bro. I like to eat, but I don't like to get too big, so I like to eat clean. But you know, just really focusing on the weight. That's more of the fight camp for me. Outside of that, I'm always in fight camp, bro. 365 years out of the day, I'm training hard every single day, multiple times a day. My girlfriend will tell you, my anybody around me will tell you, I'm just always in the gym.
A man who really lives
Going
that lifestyle.
going through a bunch of fucking laundry detergent, I'll tell you that, man.
I get it, man. I get it, man. That's the one thing I feel like nobody who doesn't train understand is the amount of
Dude,
laundry you go through
it's
just on a
insane,
daily
bro.
basis.
It's insane. Like two big ass loads a day, bro.
All right, man. Now, what are some things that, you know, you view about your opponent? Tell us what are some things that you see as some of his strengths and maybe some weaknesses you may exploit.
Uh, The strengths, man, going back to what I said, I think he's going to be durable. I think he's going to be in my face all 5 rounds. I truly, really do think that he's just going to be coming forward that whole fight. He has that conditioning for fighting. You know, MMA is different. It's different.
Mhm.
I remember sparring even at Ruka headquarters, like doing those 5 minute rounds with grappling and stuff like that. Stuff wipes your energy. So, I mean, he competes in there, so he's gonna have some. He's gonna have a good gas tank. So, and he, you know, he talks like he wants to like hurt people and put people out. So I'm expecting that, you know, a little bit of a firefight coming out of there. But and I think the weakness is what I said in the last interview is that shot's not there. You know, if
Mhm.
I'm giving him trouble and I'm picking him apart, he can't shoot. Like, he's got to figure it out, and I think that's a big weakness. And that's what I want to do is drag him into that gator pit, like I said.
Speaking of MMA, I know I've heard you mention over and over again that eventually the goal is to go to MMA, but maybe this is my pitch, maybe I'm a little bit biased, but
Yeah,
you think we'll ever see you go pro and then fight pro kickboxing for Fighters Rep?
I definitely do think that you're gonna see me go pro in kickboxing, or pro in Muay Thai. I love fighting, and I love MMA. I love the grappling. I love jiu-jitsu, but I mean, there's nothing better. George says all the time, there's nothing better than just seeing two people just striking and just going to war. That's real war, man. That's real wars. You're getting picked apart. You just gotta stay on your feet, and yeah, there's nothing more beautiful than striking, bro. In any sport in the world, there's really
I
nothing more beautiful. So if I could be a kickboxing world champ pro and MMA world champ pro, dude, that's beyond my expectations. So that's the goal.
I agree highly, man. All you got to really do is go to any local UFC card at a bar and watch the amount of casuals who've never trained in their life get bored watching them on the ground. I,
That's
I,
true,
I
bro.
tell
That is
people all
true.
the time kickboxing is the greatest sport in the world, and
Yeah,
I show them highlights, and they're like, "This is what it is." I'm like, "This is so awesome!" Like, see what I'm saying?
dude. Every time I show my friends like one FC or anything, they're just like, "Holy, like, why does the UFC like this?" Like, I don't know why, but the kickboxing didn't really make it in the U.S., man. It's not as big. It would be if they just had a good promoter. Like,
I
I
mean,
mean,
that's what we're doing.
fighter, yeah, FightersRep's probably gonna be up there with the UFC one day.
I
But
would hope so. I would hope so. That's why I'm saying, we got to have guys like you that, you know, that
yeah,
once they want to get out of that amateurs, I think you'll always have a
yeah,
spot at Fighters Rep, man. Like,
and guys like George, man, I feel like what he's doing with this promotion is good. Like I was just telling someone that it feels like whenever it's like Fighters Rep Fight Week, that's huge. Like it's a big thing. You know, other promotions. I mean, I don't mean to down talk or anything, but you know, the Fight Week is still big. It's more bigger for the fight day, but I feel like just everybody knows when it's Fighters Rep Fight Week, and everybody's just ready for it. It's
oh
big.
man, it's always marked on my calendar. But again, I'm a
True.
little bit biased. I'm a kickboxing fan. I love this stuff. I love striking
Yeah,
sports. The promotion that we have here is incredible, and I get to meet cool people like you, man.
I
Get to
appreciate you,
watch
man.
you all the
Appreciate it.
time. Like, this is just incredible and great. Like, but I don't want to take up too much of your time. As you said, you train a lot. I know you've been asked this, but let's go over it again. Let me get a big prediction, and then maybe even a few shout outs that you want to make before this upcoming fight.
My prediction is I'm gonna get a third round knockout.
Mm,
TKO. It could be a TKO maybe. That's maybe because depending on how durable he really is, but I really do feel like I'm gonna put this man out. And just want to shout out my team, the whole Squirrel Muay Thai. I want to shout out Ryu, Jerry, Trevor, Nathan. Who am I forgetting? David.
I was
You
about to
know,
say, David Rivera, you're fighting on the
yes,
same card as your teammate.
yes, again. So shout out those guys. If they push me, I push them, and we're gonna show that work that we're about to put in. And shout out Coach Cody Sessions, always holding it down, always sharpening us up, always being there for us. Shout out my family, always supporting, making it to the fights. Shout out all my friends as well for making the fights, supporting, understanding, and helping me train. Shout out my girlfriend, always having to put up with me dieting, and I can't take her to all these fancy places like I want to. We can't do all the stuff, but it's a huge team around me, man. Huge team.
That's awesome, man. Well, Knucklehead Nation, you heard it here first. A third round TKO finish prediction from Jason the Gator Granado, defending his FightersRep super lightweight title and his first title defense. You're not going to want to miss this one. It goes down this Saturday, April 22nd. If you're not there, like me, unfortunately, I'll have some other business, but I will be tuning into the live stream. All you have to do is just go on the YouTube channel and just join our live broadcast. You're not going to want to miss this one. We got some incredible fights for you. And again, I thank you for your time, Jason, and I can't wait to see you in your next performance.
Thank you, Adam. Appreciate it, brother. Talking to you.